we went into the East Coast. We talked about trades that could happen, things that need to happen. I mentioned how when you look for trades, usually you want to target the teams on the bottom four, bottom five. Those are teams that legitimately would probably say, hey, you know what, we could let this guy go. We're going in a different direction, especially if it's an expensive vet and you have a losing record and you have some young talent, you want to develop that talent. You always go, let my people go in that situation and try to rebuild, right? Get something in a better situation, get some draft picks, get some young talent, develop something, get something for the future. When we talk about the West Coast, in the West, LA's on top, all right? They still do need some pieces from the three-point line. I've said this in my earlier season preview. I'll say it again. LA still needs some three-point pieces, all right, for three-point shooters. LAC don't really know what they have right now, all right? I don't know because everyone's resting here and there. I see Zubac as a big. I don't see another big on there. That's the only question mark I have. There's not another big next to Zubac to help with McGee, to help with Howard. The plethora of big men that they have on the Los Angeles Lakers. Next up, surprise team. Surprise team, but I had them as dangerous. It's Luka Magic, and people always keep talking about, well, why are they talking about Luka Doncic and not Jaren Jackson Jr. or Trae Young? Look at the record of this team, 17-8. That's why we're talking about Luka Doncic. You can't say that's not him. Look at his roster and look at what Atlanta Hawks have. Look at his roster and even look at what the Memphis Grizzlies have, okay? I'm sorry to say, I love Tim Hardaway Jr. I think he is a legit prospect. He's being slept on. He is more of an asset than people know. The main scorer on New York Knicks for a period of time. But you got to love what the Dallas Mavericks are doing. And I don't want to say this, all right? I love Trae Young. However, the roster that Trae Young has on the Atlanta Hawks with Luka Doncic on that roster, I wonder what it would be like. I wonder what the scoring would be like for that team. Even though Trae Young, for me, is, and you're going to neg me if you want, I think they're equal in my opinion, just because I love Trae Young's style of play. But for some reason, it's not Luka Magic for no reason. Luka Magic's making things happen. It could be the coaching. It may be the coaching. And that could be the determinant, because I don't think the players are that much different in what they bring to the table for their teams. They're the main guys. Next up, Denver. They are where I thought they would be at. Actually, I thought they would be higher up. I didn't think LA and LAC would already be at the top of the heap for the Western Conference, but Denver's coming along. What do they need? I always said, always try to improve in the forward position and in the guard positions. They need help there. But I'm not going to get into them right now yet on who they should go out and get. Jamal Crawford, J.R. Smith. I'm not going to say anything about Denver, but there's moves that they need to make happen to get over the hump right now. They need more shooting, in my opinion. Houston Rockets, I've said it before, they had all the players they needed. Hartenstein is a great young prospect. However, you got to win now. You need some size now. I would get another big, and I would even go to the G League, find another leaping big, and get him on there. I don't know why Kenneth Faried is not on this team. I'll say it again. I have no clue why Kenneth Faried is not playing on this team. I like everything else they have in talent wise. I think this is probably as good as they're going to get with the flexibility that they have, unless they find a gem. Someone in either the G League that they can get via trade or a small trade. Again, I really like where they're lined up. Could there be a Kevin Love scenario for this team for a full big three? I don't know. There is a could you trade House? And I don't think that Cleveland would go for that, but could they get Kevin Love? I think he would be a great addition to this team. The way James Harden brings everyone to him. We'll get a separate video for that. I want to talk about that. Utah Jazz, 6th place. I'm surprised they're even there. I wasn't even looking at them. Utah, they are what they are. I think they're just going to be that 5 to 18 for the rest of their lives, and I even think they may hop out of the playoffs if these other teams improve. Sacramento Kings have come along faster than I thought. A roaring bull right now, okay? Sacramento is. Great job for them, and they're missing their primary point guard in De'Aaron Fox. So that's something that's hurtful for them. When they get him back and they're fully healthy, I think they'll be in full stride. I said they have a chance to make the playoffs, and they still have that chance. Big surprise team. Again, trust the process. Phoenix Suns know what they're doing. They won a 3-point shooting. They got that in the draft, and they are now in the A spot. Can they keep this up for the rest of the season? It'll be interesting to see. Phoenix is in the hunt, and so is a lot of other teams on the West Coast, and we'll keep going down to see what players I think will move up. OKC, as I stated, if you got Chris Paul, you're in the running, and Chris Paul has them in the running. Will somebody try to get Chris Paul? I mentioned guards on Denver. I hate to go back up there, but hey, is there an opportunity for Chris Paul to go to Denver? Is there an opportunity for Mark Cuban to take a rush and take Chris Paul to Dallas? Even though Luka Doncic's the primary ball handler, okay? There's a lot of moves, a lot of teams on the upper echelon. They may take a look at Chris Paul and try to grab him, or he'll continue on with OKC and be in the playoff hunt as usual. Congratulations to OKC for having a talent like that. Minnesota Timberwolves, again, I bet they're looking at trades for Wiggins. They're not going to get it, all right? Wiggins is having the best season of his career, in my opinion. However, it's been too long, and, it's kind of like milk that's about to be spoiled. It still tastes okay, but you're like, I don't know if it's going to spoil tomorrow or in a week, so you're like, you know what, let me get rid of it now while it's good and drink what I can. And that's kind of the Wiggins situation, in my opinion. Trying to see what they got, but I think they're gonna try to either move Wiggins, keep him, or try to bring in some guard help. I remember the D'Lo trade was always there. Can they get Jeff Teague and package a couple other guys to get D'Lo and try to make a lower tier big three, and then they would have to make the playoffs this year or next year. I think it would have to be next year based upon where I see them flowing now, but they have an opportunity. SAS, the Spurs. If I were them, I would try to tank. I don't think there's enough here to do any damage in the playoffs, even though I think they can make it. I love DeRozan. I love Aldridge. I love Gay. A great core. Those are guys I think that teams need to start targeting, as SAS may finally be in a rebuilding stage and say, you know what, we don't need to make the playoffs, okay? We don't need to make it with our core. We got Dejounte Murray, and there's a couple other guys on that team. I believe Derek White's there as well. Maybe they start that rebuilding process here. They got some nice wings. They could use some draft picks for some bigs. LaMarcus Aldridge is not getting any younger. I will pull the trigger now. It's a new league. Get Aldridge to somewhere he wants to be. Get DeRozan out of there. And also, try to move Rudy Gay to a situation. Those three should be big targets for teams looking to make moves to the upside. Portland Trailblazers, I think they move back into the playoff spot. They are making nice moves right now. They're another team that I think could use another, dare I say, I think they have pretty good roster. I really love their roster. I had them as a top 3 team, so I have been wrong so far, but I still have them there. I think their roster is great. It's just about legitimizing it, getting the offense right. There may need to be some more ball flow and stop the one-on-one flow with McCollum and Lillard. That may be hurting them. Get some more ball flow. Get some more people engaged. I think they have, again, I think their roster is great. They got a lot of talent there. They just got to utilize it. They got Carmelo. He's helping out. And then again, Little, and there's another young kid they got from the Knicks. I forgot his name, free agent, but he's also legit if they play him. But he's back into a situation where they're not playing him. So I think this is a team that for me could be special. Let me just click on. I just want to see that roster real quick. Mario Hezonja, I think is legit. I really do. I think he's legit if he plays some minutes. Could they use some more intensity in the power forward position? Could you get, again, another Kenneth Faried? You already got Little there, but you got Skal. I like Skal, skilled big man. They're so deep, man. They're so deep, but they need to replace Rodney Hood, and that was a big loss for them. So that's the only thing I would say. Can they replace Rodney Hood? Does Hezonja step up as that replacement for Rodney Hood? And that's the only thing I would say for that team. Memphis Grizzlies, is there anyone on this roster? Let's just jump into this. This is where I start jumping in a little bit deeper on players that teams should think about going out and getting Um, Kyle Anderson is not a bad player, okay? Not a bad glue guy. Boris Diaw this day. Dylan Brooks is probably untradeable. Grayson Allen, there's a maybe there. Against strong nose player. Brandon Clark just drafted. No bueno. Jay Crowder. Could somebody go out and get Jay Crowder as a glue guy, right? Is Jay Crowder somebody that, that teams look at? Maybe Houston. Maybe Houston as another bench spot, right? Another big tough guy to join Tucker. Solomon Hill, another guy, right? That's another guy I like, okay? Andre Iguodala will be moved, no matter what LA team he goes to. I think he goes out to some LA team. I don't know which one. That's a scary addition. Josh Jackson, somebody that wants to pull a young talent and try to utilize him, because he's gone into full UFO mode. He's here, then he's not. I like Josh Jackson. I think that he just needs an opportunity. Who's going to get him? There's a shot here for him. Maybe somebody takes a look at Josh Jackson, grabs him for cheap, maybe for some cash. Do I like the Magic getting Josh Jackson? I'm gonna do a full Magic video in a second. I'll tell you why I like the Magic getting some young talent. Because the young talent that they have is okay. It's about C, but they need B's and A's in this league. And I think Josh Jackson could potentially be a B. Jaren Jackson Jr. untouchable. Tyus Jones untouchable. I don't know the rest of these guys, okay? So I think that there's a lot of okay talent here. The biggest guy here is Anderson, Josh Jackson. These are guys that can be moved, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. Guy Jay Crowder, right? These are guys you can nab. Iguodala, maybe Solomon Hill, okay? Because they're in rebuild mode. All right, I'm going to jump back down. Let's get into the New Orleans Pelicans. Everyone talking about LeBron. Why'd you move your young guys? Look at the record of this team, okay? Look at the record. That's unacceptable. With this roster, unacceptable. I don't like it. Lonzo Ball, as you can see, he's gone to a team where he has a green light. It's not turning into wins. And this team is better than Memphis Grizzlies roster, okay, in my opinion. They have much more talent. However, it's not showing through. I didn't look at the injuries, but I think they have a little bit more talent with Drew, and Drew's the guy, right? Drew's the guy that every team should be coveting right now and trying to go get, all right? This is the guy. Drew Holiday will be the game changer for a lot of teams. At 6-20, it's now time to move Drew. You got a couple young talented guys that can kind of take over that flow. Won't be the same as Drew, but now Drew Holiday is the focus. He is the top, for me, the most pivotal trade asset you have right now on the sorry teams outside D'Angelo Russell. Drew Holiday's the guy. Teams, look into what you need to do to get Drew Holiday. That is a great move and a great improvement. Brandon Ingram, is he available? Not sure. I'm not sure. Again, his points and his again, it's you can score all you want. Ricky Davis was a tremendous scorer on the Cleveland Cavaliers. If it doesn't get you wins, it doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. All right? So, I don't know if he had the old Carmelo syndrome and Brandon Ingram, where I dropped 15, 50, I dropped 40. They didn't do that. It don't matter. You didn't win, bro. They don't care. Frank Jackson, another guy not being utilized. Maybe somebody takes a nab of Frank Jackson and asks about him. Okafor is another big legitimate power forward. Do they try to move him? I tell you what, JJ Redick wanted to go in a situation where he would be on a winning team. Now there's two guys. Can somebody grab JJ Redick? Orlando Magic, for all my talk, we got to get the Magic. I'm going to end this, okay? I want to talk about the Magic because I like the team. I'm in the Florida area, so I'm biased. I'm going to end this. I just went through the players, right? Drew Holiday, JJ Redick, because they're not going to make the playoffs. They're too far down, all right? It would be a miracle. It would be a miracle. 6-20, it would be a miracle, all right? Okafor is there, but I don't think they're going to move him. Frank Jackson. We went into Anderson for the Memphis Grizzlies. We went into, a couple players from, actually Minnesota. We didn't go too deep because I don't think there's much there. Jeff Teague is the only guy there, right? Everyone knows Jeff Teague's going to be moved at some point. Jordan Bell hasn't played. Wanted a good situation. Hey, is he angry? Does he go somewhere? Who else is on this team? I didn't get into them, so I'm going to come back. Jalen Noel, getting good, pretty good young prospects. Nas Reed, I love him out of Jersey. Shout out to Jersey, man. And you got two Jersey guys on, Nas and Carl Anthony. I don't know why Nas and Carl Anthony are not paired together, but he can learn a lot from Carl. I think they'll have one of the strongest front courts once Nas Reed comes along. I highlighted this to everybody that he's a top tier player in this league. Once he gets the opportunity, him and Carl Anthony Towns are going to wreak havoc once they get him acclimated and playing. Yeah, I don't know. When I look at his roster, they may be overachieving, to be honest with you. They are defensive minded, certainly strong. Jared Culver's there. Big draft pick for them. You know, does somebody try to nab Rob Covington or Jordan Bell? But I don't think they're going to move them because I think they're going to try to make the playoffs and get D'Lo. So Jeff Teague is the only guy here that I see possibly getting moved off. Phoenix Suns, I don't think they'll move anybody. OKC is the other team I highlighted. Let's just go back up there into them real quick. But they're in the hunt, so I don't know what they do here. Deion Burton is a guy I love. Okay, I think he could be an awesome player in this league off the bench. Exciting player. Really like him. I really like Deion Burton. There's somebody trying to make a move for him. Nerlens Noel has been one of the better backups. Again, if somebody needs a big, does somebody try to chase? Again, Chris Paul is another guy, right? So we got a couple of big. There's a lot of guards. If you need guard help, there's quite a bit of guards that may be available that somebody's going to say, you know what, let's make that move. We want to get into a championship run. So I'm going to sign off here. I want to recap. Chris Paul, I think, is going to be tradable. I think that Deion Burton as well on OKC. Minnesota, I see Jeff Teague, all right? San Antonio Spurs, Aldridge, Derenzen, and Mr. Rudy Gay are available. I think they'll be available. I think they want to go somewhere to win a championship. Portland Trail Blazers. I'm biased, so I just like them the way they are. I think they need to pick up a couple pieces. Maybe a J.R. Smith. Take another risk on another 3-point shooter. I think that, you know, even though I think they have a lot of scoring, Kenneth Faried's another guy. Go defensive if you don't go offensive. I think defensively they need to get help. The guards are not doing enough there. Memphis Grizzlies, Kyle Anderson. You know, we talked about him as a possible movement piece. Not much else there on Memphis. I think they're in a rebuilding phase. We talked about Solomon Hill. And then we also, who was the other guy we went into? Solomon Hill, Solomon Hill, Kyle Anderson. I said Grayson is a maybe. There's another guy, Iguodala. Okay, Iguodala is another guy. And then I mentioned Josh Jackson as another person that they may highlight. Next one down. Let's not sleep. The New Orleans Pelicans, JJ Redick, I think, is available. Drew Holiday. All right. Drew Holiday is the guy. And then the Golden State Warriors, obviously, it's clear as day. It's not working out. Burks, bye-bye. I would even move Cauley Stein. And then Mr. D'Lo. All right. D'Lo is the top prospect and focused for many teams. Got to look at D'Lo, see what you can get for him. I like the opportunity for anyone that needs a guard in this free agency trade deadline run that is coming up shortly. I'm out. Off Work Sports. Just want to get into it. Want to talk about trades, and I did the East Coast side about a day ago. Now this is the West Coast. We'll see what happens. Off Work. I'm out.